All right, kings, gentlemen, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Guy Trying to Catch Some Sunlight. And we are indeed having lots of sunlight today. Well, today I want to talk about stupidity in government and failure to move with the times. As you may have noticed, the Musk administration's, well, I'm not going to do them the dignity of calling them Doge or Department of Government Efficiency because they're not a department. They have not been legally established by an act of Congress. But let's just call him Musk's incel army, has been going through the United States federal government like termites through an antique chair. And they're feeling pretty good about it. They are doing the whole media spin thing where they're uncovering fraud or money laundering, which is complete bullshit. Like, how the it's like it's really the level of bullshit that you tell yourself, how do you even begin addressing that? There's not even a shred of truth you could hang on to and just correct this, because it's just it's really in the same category of bullshit as Trump is fond of spouting. Anyways, they've been doing this, and they've been firing government employees left and right. So they fired a bunch of air traffic controllers. They fired a bunch of nuclear readiness officers, I believe, and a bunch of people from the Center of Disease Control. And then they had a surprise Pikachu moment when they realized, oh shit, the government actually needs these people to work their jobs, because without it, America has no nuclear readiness, has no air traffic control and disease control. And they're now trying to rehire them. It's a fucking shit show. Like, don't believe the hype. You need to get out of the right wing media echo chamber and actually start paying attention to facts. And so why is this happening? The point of this video is, why is this happening? The reason is because the ideology of the Musk administration is neo-reaction. Now, neo-reaction is really just libertarianism, but with the worship of bosses and companies and capitalists elevated to a whole new level. Like, it's like CEOs should be kings. That's the TLDR of neo-reaction, and it believes in the frankly moronic idea of the Randian Superman entrepreneur. And believe you me, I've met some owners and operators and CEOs of large companies. They are not impressive people, not by a long shot. But it believes that, and believes that essentially modern government is a scam or a fraud or unnecessary. The words looters and moochers are thrown around a lot in Randian parlance, and Neoreactions has, of course, inherited this libertarian pedigree. They are part of the ecosystem, but they don't realize that modern government exists for a reason. Now, there's a book out there called The Managerial Revolution. It was written by James Burnham. It's probably one of the most misunderstood books on the planet, right? There, James Burnham describes the transformation of the world, which began in the progressive era, so in the 1910s and 20s. I believe Burnham wrote the book in the 40s, I'm not sure though. And he describes it how basically the world passed from the 19th century liberal bourgeois model of governance, right, both economic and political, to the 20th century managerial model of governance, where the entrepreneurs, the owners, they are replaced by bureaucracies, both government and corporate. Now, here's where a lot of people stop reading, or at the very least stop comprehending Burnham, and don't realize he's not really criticizing this move. You can no more criticize this than you can criticize gravity. He is describing it. He is saying that this was caused by the transformations necessitated by solving the problems of mass and scale, which are inherent in late industrial society. So, TLD, what does that mean? It means there's more people, more goods, more money, and crucially more interconnectedness due to the advancement of transportation and communication technology. And we're talking about the 1920s here and the 1940s, like, let alone right now. And that all of these factors have led to essentially the people you have to manage, the flow of goods you need to manage, the flow of capital that you need to manage is so high that no one man can do it and no committee of men can do it. You actually need a specialized, highly trained, highly motivated, highly educated bureaucracy to handle it. So, like, for example, back in the day, disease control was really as simple as imposing a quarantine, right? Medieval states did it with, mixed success. But modern day disease control is actually, due to the sheer problem, the sheer weight of a huge mass of people, is a much more complicated matter and requires a dedicated, might call it center of disease control. In American federal government, that's what they call it. Here in Macedonia, we have a Ministry of Health, and it has epidemic council. I forget the exact name. It doesn't really matter. That's just one problem. There's more problems, and they all require a dedicated bureaucracy to solve or manage, because maybe they are not solvable problems, but they are manageable problems, right? And this has a analogy in military matters, because military matters are also changed. Like Karl von Clausewitz is fond of saying that the problems of the army, the problems of war, are relatively simple, but their solutions are not simple because of a simple factor of friction, because you're just moving a bunch of dudes at scale, and all these dudes eat, and all these dudes shit, and all these dudes grumble, and you actually have to get them to a fight, get them motivated to go out there and take a musket ball to the head for king and country. And that sounds simple, and it is simple until you try to implement it, And that's a Clausewitzian insight from close to 200 years ago now. And it seems lost on our dear incels in the Department of Government Efficiency. Their idea of we're going to fix government is we're going to fire all the bureaucrats and return to the heroic entrepreneurial techno-feudal whatever the fuck. Or they're just going to do it with AI. Like, yeah, your fucking stable diffusion that can't get me, an anima girl with the normal number of fingers. That's going to run government. Yeah. Like that, and that's a big part of it. They're trying to insert AI and usually their own model into government, because this is somehow more efficient than human bureaucrats. Because no, it's not. AI is fucking retarded. It's just a stochastic parrot. There's no intelligence there that can be done. And these people's model of government is, I would say, stuck in the 19th century. And here we get to one of those ubiquitous right-wing memes that they share around, which is millions must die. The Chudjek character, I can't do it justice because, my head is too wide for that. But anyways, the millions must die guy. I always, I've said it before, millions must die when I'm feeling, frustrated with just the stupid-ass opinions of the sheeple. But the fact of the matter is, for these libertarian or neo-reactionary or neo-primitivist or neo-whatever the fuck models to work, millions indeed must die. These societal models, these government models do not work for a modern society. Modern society requires a managerial bureaucracy to function. That's why the United States federal government has a massive, sprawling bureaucracy. Now, are there inefficiencies in the United States federal government? Duh, it's a fucking government, man. Governments are not inefficient. And that's the thing, governments are not supposed to be efficient. Governments are supposed to have multiple redundancies. They're supposed to be resilient. They're supposed to be entities which last for hundreds and thousands of years, right? Well, yeah, we do know of a few. I think that, we are a couple of years away from the United Kingdom turning 1,000 in its most basic force. But yeah, governments are supposed to be robust and, dare I say it, anti-fragile. They do that by having redundancies and inefficiencies, right? And modern governments have armies of bureaucrats because, guess what? Modern societies, due to the problem of mass and scale, due to the problem of interconnectedness, are fucking tough to manage. Even if they are relatively simple, when you get to the reality of it, when you get to the frictions, the problems of handling thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions or, dare I say it, billions of people, yeah, it becomes apparent that, wow, so that wasn't inefficiency. That was actually a necessity. We needed those people doing that thing. And little by little, 600 employees by 300 employees, what's going to happen is everyone's just going to realize that, we needed that government. We needed this sprawling bureaucracy to just manage society. So the answer is either we reform a government which is in line with what, well, serious people have known since roughly the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, or we indeed implement the right-wing program of millions must die. And I'll leave you to decide which one would be the better outcome. Bye-bye, folks.